You might base out on me, man.
So as I get to the coyote guard, he raises his knee up, and I'm gonna start to go to deep half guard, hiding my arm just like so, okay? From here, I'm gonna use my front hook. Usually I'll use that to feed it to my back hook, almost like an X guard, okay? Like a variation between X guard and deep half, just like so. With this hook, I'm trying to aim my shin behind his knee pit, okay? And now from here, what I'm gonna do is kind of just use my legs to lift in, get my head out of the hole, and start to find the exposure to the back, all right? I always try to make sure that this leg's just never just floating in space. I can keep the X, or better yet, I can just bring my elbow to my knee to my elbow and start to make my secondary hook, okay? Notice how I'm keeping this leg off the mat so he can't run away. I'll control the hips, favor to the right side, underhook, overhook, and I'm keeping this counter pressure, my pinky toe out, my knee in. That's gonna be hard for him to kind of turn or wiggle or anything like this. So I also had the question, like, which hook should I throw over first? Well, it doesn't really matter, but fundamentally correct would be the one that's the same side as your overhook. So it'd be my right overhook, my right leg first. So how this usually happens is when I get my seatbelt, I'll start to pull Ian back just a little bit, okay? Really get the chest to back, and then lean a little bit to the right side, and then as we're going over, I'll throw my hook in first. Why do I throw my bottom hook in first if we're going that way? Because if he rolls from here, I have my knee to keep contact, right? If he goes back to mat from here, I still have a hook in, it's gonna be hard. If I switch that and I'm here and here, everything's right except my hook, concept-wise, he can go back to mat and start to enter in half guard, and I start to lose it slowly, and then I'm in half guard. I lost the back, okay? It's not the end of the world, but that is one of those things that I always kind of live and breathe by is, first hook in, that's gonna go to the bottom side. If your right arm's over a hook on the seatbelt, then your right hook should be first. But once again, people can do that differently and still manage to make it work. But if we're talking about like textbook fundamentals, then that's the way it should be. So one more time on that. As I get into coyote guard, I'll start to switch my legs, start to reap the knee. He brings his knee up, giving me a hard time. I can't wrestle up from here. My arm is in jeopardy. If I'm rolling with Paulo, he's gonna shoulder lock me or omoplata me. So I immediately start to hide my arm and go deep half. Okay, first hook feeds to the second hook, and I'm Xing my legs, and now from here I just go to the back, keeping this hook live, bring my leg shallow. I'm gonna start to favor the right side so we land in the saddle, get my seatbelt, there's my first hook, we fall to the side, get my hook. Okay, so that's the back take you can do from the X. We also have another option from there, and I wanna introduce you guys to this before we get to the waiter sweep, of transitioning to another guard, not going to the back, but using our legs as frames to create a guard that's, in my opinion, the strongest guard in Jiu Jitsu. So the same thing applies as I get here, we start to get into the deep half situation. I'm gonna go front hook and then back hook, okay? And now from here, what I'm gonna do is bring my right arm out, and I'm gonna start to frame inside of his hip, okay? I need to switch my legs just a little bit. So I might have an X like this, or I can have like this. But let's start like just the regular X so we have the opportunity to go to the back. But what's a little bit better for you guys to at least try doing a live roll is just switch your guard, okay? We're gonna go over that. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna end up switching my legs just like this. Look, as I go from being under him in deep half, I bring my arm out, I'm gonna start to lift, switch this leg. It's gonna drop all the way to the hip as I kick this leg through into my single leg X. Okay? Obviously from here we can start to underhook, we can wrestle, we can go reverse X, we can do a lot of things. If I just want to go 50-50, I just bring my leg and switch. Okay? We can do that drill the exact same way. So we have the back here, or really better than that, because the crab ride for the no-gi right there can be very slippery and hard to hold on to. I'm gonna bring my hand, you guys can see. I'm essentially playing deep half, but my leg's underneath. So it's kind of easy to get there. Anybody having issues with this yet? Anybody? It's pretty easy. Like you go 1 and then 2. Okay. Now I'm gonna bring my frame inside just so I can push off of his body bring this leg here. So the one that was behind his knee, I just flip-flop my toes, I grab the ankle, and I'm just gonna fall into position, bringing this ankle to my hip, kicking this leg through. Here's my distance control leg, keep it there, to the hip. Let it fall, and then you're in single leg X. Okay? This is like the best information I could give you for playing a deep half guard, in my opinion, because we're not sitting there taking the abuse. We're using that deep half guard situation to get to a guard with more space, using our legs a bit more, staying a little bit more out of trouble. Where we're not really on that 1-lane road with a 1,000-foot cliff on both sides, we can be a little bit more chill there, okay? And everybody in here I know is familiar with single leg X, so getting to single leg X from deep half is the key, all right? Well, the key for this drill right here. So Coyote, he raises his knee, boom, I'm in deep half, okay? First one, I can go to the back. But what's better for you guys, I feel like, is lifting, bringing this arm that's hugging the hip just in front of the same hip, and now switch. Right to single leg X. Okay. So when I get here, I start to turn, I'm gonna hide my arm underneath me, okay? I'm not gonna stop here. This for me is kind of a danger zone sometimes, okay? Like Taylor Watson said, it's like his brother always pummels an underhook on him. So I'm gonna continue my momentum from here all the way, and I'm gonna hide my hand under my hips, just like this. So he definitely can't underhook me from here. But my knees have to do a really good job of scooping this leg so I can catch it. That's why it's really important to bring your knees low, more around his ankle, start to turn, and start to catch his ankle with your leg. Or not with your leg, but bring his leg to your hand with your legs. Okay? There's a lot going on right there. And I'm just doing that job with my lower body. 1 and then 2. Now, as soon as I catch, I like to catch with an open palm just like this. And my very next goal, my goal at the very beginning actually, is to get my knee above his knee. Okay? A good guy, and Paulo does this all the time, he'll place his hand on my knee and he won't allow me to get to the waiter guard. And he'll just kind of stop me here. But if I can get it smooth and faster than he can react, it's going like this. 1, 2. All right, just like so. Okay? We call this a waiter suit because like you're waiting on a table, you're holding those trays. I hold a tray like this, so I don't know what they're talking about. You guys hold the trays like this with a fist. To sweep my partner, I want to make sure that I have both of his knee and his heel super tight together to like kind of clench my hands, right, or my arms. I'm gonna lift Ian up by raising my hips off the mat, and then when he sets back down, I use my legs to load him up, and I'm gonna send him straight backwards. Watch your left leg. I send him straight backwards. And that's what we're gonna accomplish the sweep, to come up from here. But for you guys today, just get to half body. So you get to your knees, and get to your arms down. I use my legs to scoop his leg. Okay? If you're real low right here, he can just base out. So you wanna, at least as you roll back, like kick him, roll back and get really tight on this, and then take him straight back. Don't take him to one side or the other. I just like to say, like, you're leg pressing, take him this way. So use your legs and the strong parts of your body to kick him straight back, keeping your knees pinched. And we fall on top. Good pressure.